Hey guys, I know it's been a really long time and I'm really sorry that I haven't posted a video after my first two, but I've just had a lot going on and I really want to get back into this, so hey, I'm back. In case you forgot my name, I'm Justin. Yeah, so welcome to the FFs. Just kidding, that's me and my friends' little channel that we have. Not really channel built, but I went to Midland this past weekend and me and my best friend, got together and we had this little show that we were just like talking about different kind of topics and subjects, and it was really funny. So we called it the FFs for different reasons that you may not want to know about, but it was really funny and it was really nice to be back in my hometown. So I wanted to tell you guys about my coming out story. So I had lived in Dallas already. In case you didn't know, I'm from Midland, Texas, and I recently moved here like a year and a half ago. And by the way, I'm really sorry. I sound really sick because I have really bad allergies. It's allergy season here in Dallas, and it's like super crazy right now. But yeah, so I had moved to Dallas. It had been about 6 months that I was living here already. And I started dating this guy. Well, I had already been dating him, and he moved into my apartment, and my mom was gonna come that weekend. So I was like, oh crap, like half of this stuff out isn't even mine anymore. It's like half mine and half his at the apartment. And I was like, crap, what do I tell her? What do I tell her? I can't say he's just a roommate. It's gonna, be kind of obvious that he's more than just a roommate. So I was like, crap, I have 3 days to tell her, because she was gonna come in that Friday and leave Sunday. And this was like on Tuesday or Monday. And I was like, oh my God, and I was really nervous. And I was like, trying not to freak out. But it's a big thing for a lot of people. A lot of people that come out nowadays, they're getting judged so bad. But I will say that society has changed to where it's, I guess, expected from some people. Everyone has their own reasons, but I guess it just depends on how you were raised, I guess. I don't want to sound brutal, but anyway, so, I was just thinking, like, how am I going to tell her? What am I going to do? And that night, I got home, and stuff like that, I don't like to talk about in person just because I'm kind of awkward. Not, like, socially awkward. I love to talk to anybody, but when it comes down to situations like that about my actual sexuality, then, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I didn't want to be like, hey, Mom, I like guys, It just depends on how close you and your family are at that point. So me and my mom and my sister and my dad, we were all pretty relatively close at that time. I had just moved here, like I said, and it was my first time being alone without all of them. So it was a little bit different, we had already developed a little distance relationship, and it was nice. I still kept in contact with all three of them. So anyway, I wrote this text message to my mom, of course. My mom's always my go-to. I love my mom to death. I texted her first and I said, I wrote this like really long paragraph, and I was just like, hey Mom, like you're coming this weekend and I kind of have to tell you so you're not totally surprised. Living with a guy, he's my boyfriend, and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, she took a while to respond, and I was like, crap, did I mess up? Should I have told her in person? Should I have waited till she came here? Because I know she wouldn't have hated me, if I told her in person. It's just awkward. So, of course, she replied, a few hours later, and she was like, hey, sorry, I was at work. And she was like, no matter what you decide to do with your life, I'm going to be your mom, and I love you so much. And she was like, and I kind of already knew, and I was like, oh. Well, okay. Like I guess I do give it away kind of somewhat, which I really don't care about. But yeah, so she was like, I kind of already knew, and she was like, don't worry, I'm not gonna judge you, and regardless of how religious I am. And I was like, okay, you know, she's really accepting. So I was like kind of relieved, but I was, you know, still nervous to see her that weekend because it was gonna be different, you know. And I was like, I want you to meet him, by the way, because you know he lives here, and she was gonna stay with me. So, of course, she was like, okay, you know, like I'm excited to meet him, blah blah. And I wasn't worried about it because so by the way, people have different like titles to themselves when they're dating the same sex. I say my boyfriend because he's my boyfriend. People say partner or whatever they want to say, but I say boyfriend just to let you guys know. So my boyfriend, at the time, you know, he was kind of nervous, of course, but I knew he could. He's really good at first impressions, I want to say. He might disagree if he ever watches this, but yeah, so I was like, you know, really excited. And after a while, after being nervous for a really long time, I was really excited. So she came down that Friday, and you know, my boyfriend was working, I believe. And you know, once he came home, I was like, here's my mom. And yeah, so they got along really well. My mom actually brought her best friend at the time, and we had a really good time that weekend. So after that weekend, I told my sister, and that was a different story. She was just like, I didn't want to believe it, blah blah blah. I wanted to cry, and that's fine. Like I said, we're all entitled to our own opinions. I mean, I don't know how I would react if I had a kid with somebody and if I was straight, and my son came out to me. You know, I wouldn't know. I want to say like I can't speak for that, but in my mental stage that I'm at now, like I would obviously like accept him for who he is. I would try to guide him to the right path. The right path, by the way, if you're a mom and you're watching this, or a dad and you're watching this, and you don't know how to react about your son or daughter being gay or lesbian or whatever they are, my advice to you is to just accept them, because one, you cannot change their life. You cannot make them be someone they don't want to be, because what they're choosing is what they're choosing, and you can't take that away from them. You know, they have their rights. If you want to pull the religious, you know, trigger on them, then, I mean, most people are Christians. If you're a Christian, you would honestly accept for anybody for who they are, and you can't really judge them, because when you pressure them with religious, and I can say this from personal experience, I personally feel like it can get worse, and they tend to either A, want to take the wrong path, which is what some parents would want from them, without realizing it, or B, they you know, it makes it worse, and they make other wrong decisions. I didn't mean to say it like that. Like, being gay is not a wrong decision. I'm just saying, like, it would lead to other wrong decisions, you know, set aside from that. Now, if you're gay or lesbian and you're watching this, or you know what, even straight, I'm sorry, I shouldn't even say that. If you're anybody watching this and you want to come out to your parents as straight, just be like, hey mom, I'm straight. They'll probably be surprised, but no. So one, take your time telling them, just because you don't want to make any kind of, I guess, living situation bad. Because I know I've heard of a lot of stories where people come out and they either get kicked out or they just don't want to live there. So like I said, they take the wrong path. You know, some people skip school, they graduate and just not go to school because they took the wrong path, because either their family wasn't there for them or they didn't feel safe. Now, I always felt safe. The only thing about me was I just always felt like I was hiding something. So I was never home, you know. I was just like, you know, I'm going to be home and I have to be someone else. Like, why do I have to do that? And looking back, for my personal situation, I really wish I would have talked to my mom a lot sooner, just because I lived with her for a while, just me and her. And we would have been closer, and I would have skipped all that not being home and spending time with her instead. So that's one thing that I do regret. like I said, we're all different. We all have different life situations. We all have different personal experiences. It all just depends on who you are as an individual. Now, another piece of advice that I have is just be strong and always be yourself. Be confident. Be humble. That's really important too. You know, a lot of people that come out, they seem to get depressed and get anxiety. I really can't say how to avoid that just because I wouldn't know myself. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit of anxiety and depression too. Just the fact that I had to hide such a big secret, I guess. The main thing is just be happy and like I said, just never stop being yourself. You need to love yourself. If you want to love somebody of the same sex, I'm sorry, but you do it, you know. Love is not gender oriented. It's based off of connection. That's how I feel. And some people don't want to like, you know, the opposite sex. I know, you know, people always bring these phrases out from the Bible and all this other stuff about church. And that's fine, but you have to respect others' feelings. And that's one really important thing that people don't really realize. You know, words can hurt. Bible verses can hurt. And I'm sorry because I'm religious myself. You know, I grew up Catholic, but I'm not gonna, you know, bust out these Bible verses and be like, hey, well, being gay is wrong, even though, like, I am, you know, that lets myself down. God wants us to be happy, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Now, if you're surprised and you didn't know that about me, I apologize, but I think it's important for some people to, you know, to post these coming out stories just because, you know, when I saw them before I came out, it boosted my confidence, and I was like, you know what? It's got to be done someday. I was 20 years old. Like, it took a really long time, but like I said, just take your time and just find the right time and place. And if you want to do it through text message like I did, just do it. You know, if that makes you happy, just do it. It's probably, if anything, it's probably safer for you too, just because of some people know what I'm talking about when I say they're loving situations, but that's all their personal life. And anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I really want to get these subscribers up and views up, and please support me. You know, let me know if I could do anything. I'm gonna have my email in the description. If you ever want to talk to anybody, you know, I'm always here. I'm a really good listener. I like to keep things private. If you need any kind of advice, email me. We'll do one-on-one. You know, we'll do anything. I want to be here for you guys.